चाप्रजातं सहगना रघुनाथान्वितं त्वं सजीवम् साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजना सहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पदां सगन ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांश्च श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौरभक्तवृन्द श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौरभक्तवृन्द हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण कृष्ण कृष्ण
हरे कृष्णा जगन्मोहन प्रभु दंडवत प्रणाम.
हरे कृष्णा दंडवत प्रभु जी.
Dhandavat pranam Prabhuji. You are able to hear me, Prabhuji?
Yes, Prabhu. I hope you're hearing my audio is clear, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhuji. It's very clear.
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay. Hare Krishna devotees, welcome to Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Today we are very fortunate to have the association of His Grace Jaganmohan Chaitanya Prabhu. Prabhuji will be sharing the nectar from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, chapter number 29, sloka number 49 and 50. It will be the ongoing conversation between Narada Muni and Prachina Bhargita. Over to you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Can we share the screen, Prabhuji?
Yeah, sure. I will share the screen, Prabhu.
Okay, Prabhu. Okay.
You can start with this one, Prabhuji. I'll just share it. It's ready.
Okay. So that I can share the screen, isn't it, Prabhu?
Now, either way, if you want to share by yourself, I have made you as a co-host, Prabhuji. You can share, or if you want me to share, that also I can do, Prabhu.
Yeah, Prabhu, because I'll have to share some other shlokas as well. So I need...
Yeah. You can share by yourself, Prabhu. No problem.
Right, Prabhu. Can we start, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhuji, we can start, Prabhuji.
So the screen is visible, isn't it?
Yes, Prabhuji, it's visible, Prabhu.
Okay, right, Prabhu. Okay, thank you. Hare Krishna. So, I thank all the devotees who are here for this Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya program. So today we'll be discussing from the 4th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. So first we'll have the Mangalacharana prayers. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टकी। इदं भागवत नाम पुराण ब्रह्म संहितम् उत्तमश्लोकचरितं चकार भगवान् ऋषि निःश्रेयस्य लोकस्य धन्यं स्वस्त्ययनं महात् शृण्वतः स्वकतः कृष्ण पुण्यश्रवणकीर्तनः हृदयन्तस्थो हि अयभद्राणि विदुनोति सुहृत्सताम् मूकं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्य ईश्वरम्। ॐ अज्ञानातिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपं कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगना रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। नम ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणी निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणी। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौरभक्त वृंद। नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामिने गौरत्विषे नमः। नमो ब्रह्मण्य देवाय गो ब्राह्मण्य हिताय च जगद्हिताय कृष्णाय गोविंदाय नमो नमः। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. So we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, chapter 29, titled Talks Between Narada and King Prachina Bharhi, from text 49 and text 50. We are reading from two shlokas, is 49 and 50 from chapter 29 of Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th canto. Text 49. आस्त्रियाधर्भय प्रगग्रैः कात्स्न्येन क्षितिमण्डलम् स्तब्धो बृहद्वादान्मणि कर्म नैवाशि यत्परं तत्कर्म हरितोषं यत् सविद्या तन्मतिर्यया। आस्तीर्यदर्भैः प्रगग्रैः कात्स्न्येन क्षितिमण्डलम् स्तब्धो बृहद्वादान्मणि कर्म नैवाशि यत्परं तत्कर्म हरितोषं यत् सविद्या तन्मतिर्यया। आस्त्रियदर्भैः प्रगग्रैः कात्स्नेय क्षितिमण्डलम् स्तब्धो बृहद्वादान्मणि कर्म नैवाशि यत्परं तत्कर्म हरितोषं यत् सविद्या तन्मतिर्यया। Word to word meaning: Astriya, having covered, Darbaihi, by Kusha grass, prak agraihi, with points facing east. Katsneya, altogether. Kshiti mandalam, the surface of the world. Stabdaha, proud upstart. Brahat, great. Vadhat, by killing. Mani, thinking himself very important. Karma, activity. Na avaisi, you do not know. Yat, which. Param, supreme. Yat, that. Karma, activity. Haritosham, satisfying the Supreme Lord. Yat, which. Sa, that. Vidya, education. Tat, unto the Lord. Matihi, consciousness. Yaya, by which. Translation purport by His Divine Grace. Abhay Charanarvinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada, Jai Srila Prabhupada. Translation. My dear King, the entire world is covered with sharp points of kushagras, and on the strength of this, you have become proud because you have killed various types of animals in sacrifices. Because of your foolishness, you do not know that devotional service is the only way one can please the Supreme Personality of Godhead. You cannot understand this fact. Your only activities should be those that can please the personality of Godhead. Our education should be such that we can become elevated to Krishna consciousness. Purport. In this verse, the great sage Narada Muni directly insults king because he was engaged in performing sacrifices that entail the killing of great number of animals. The king was thinking that he was great for having performed so many sacrifices. But the great Narada directly chastises him, informing him that his animal killing only leads to his being puffed up with false prestige. Actually, anything that is done which does not lead to Krishna consciousness is a sinful activity. And any education does not lead one to understand Krishna is false education. If Krishna consciousness is missing, one is simply engaged in false activities and false educational pursuits. Text 50. Harir deha britam atma swayam prakritirishvaraha tatpadamulam sharanam yataha kshemo nrunamiha. Harir deha britam atma swayam prakriti ishvaraha tatpadamulam sharanam yato kshema nrunamiha. Harir deha britam atma swayam prakriti ishvaraha tatpadamulam sharanam yataha kshemo nrunamiha. Harihi, Sri Hari, Deha Britam, of living entities who have accepted material bodies, Atma, the super soul, Swayam, himself, Prakritihi, material nature, Ishvaraha, the controller, Tat, his, Padamulam, feet, Sharanam, shelter, Yataha, from which, Kshemaha, good fortune, Nranam, of men, Iha, in this world. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada, Jai Srila Prabhupada. Sri Hari, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is the super soul and guide of all living entities who have accepted material bodies within the world. He is the supreme controller of all material activities in material nature. He is also our best friend, and everyone should take shelter at his lotus feet. In doing so, one's life will be auspicious. Purport. In the Bhagavad Gita, it is said that Ishvara Sarvabhutanam Riddeshu Arjuna Tishtati. The Supreme Lord is situated in everyone's heart, O Arjuna. The living entity is within the body. And the super soul, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is also there. He is called Antaryami and Chaitya Guru. As Lord Krishna states in Bhagavad Gita, he is controlling everything. Sarvasya chaham radhisanya vishto mattah smritir gnanam apohanam cha. I am seated in everyone's heart, and from me come remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. Everything is being directed by the Supreme Soul within the body. Therefore, the better part of valor is to take his direction and be happy. To take his direction, one needs to be a devotee, and this is also confirmed in Bhagavad Gita. Tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam enamam upayantite. To those who are constantly devoted and worship me with love, I give the understanding by which they can come to me. Although the super soul is in everyone's heart, Ishvara Sarvabhutanam Riddeshu Tishtati. He talks only to the pure devotees who constantly engage in his service. In Chaitanya Bhagavata, it is said that Tahar se Bali Vidya Mantra Adhyayana Krishna Pada Padme Ye Karaye Sthira Mana. One who has fixed his mind on the lotus feet of Krishna is to be understood as having the best education and having studied all the Vedas. There are also appropriate quotes in Chaitanya Bhagavata. Say Vidyara Phala Janina Nishtaya Krishna Pada Padme Yadichitta Vritti Raya. The perfect result of an education is fixing one's mind on the lotus feet of Krishna. Digvijaya Kariba Vidyara Kara Nahe Ishvara Bhajile Sei Vidya Satya Kahe. Conquering the world by means of material education is not desirable. If one engages himself in devotional service, his education is perfected. Padekena Loka Krishna Bhakti Janibare Sa Yadi Nahila Tabe Vidyaya Ki Kare. The purpose of education is to understand Krishna and his devotional service. If one does not do so, then education is false. Tahere se bhali dharma, karma sadachara, Ishvare se priti, janme sammata sabara. Being cultured, educated, very active and religious means developing natural love for Krishna. Everyone has dormant love for Krishna, and by culture and education, that has to be awakened. That is the purpose of this Krishna consciousness movement. Once Lord Chaitanya asked Sri Ramananda Raya what the best part of education was, and Ramananda Raya replied that the best part of education is advancement in Krishna consciousness. Hare Krishna. So here the conversation is going on between Narada Muni and Prachina Bhari. Narada Muni in the previous chapter gave an allegorical example of a king and his wife, and then Narada Muni tries to explain the futile attempt of King Prachina Bhari of achieving material success. So it is when we read this, he is saying here that Narada Muni is directly insulting the king, and then what he should do is his activities should be to please the Supreme Personality of Godhead only. Tat karma haritosham yat, to satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Although the king is engaged here, we read in the previous chapters, here the King Prachina Bhari is an expert in performing Vedic rituals and is also an expert in yoga performances. So he has achieved perfection by doing so many yoga practices, and also is an expert in performing Vedic rituals. So although the Vedic scriptures entails one to perform one's prescribed duties. Here, Prachina Bhari is a king, and is a king which is in the time of Satya Yuga. So in that, what Prachina Bhari is doing is he is performing his duties as a king. He is performing his duties as a king in a perfect way, and in fact is doing more that is required. He is doing all the sacrifices. He is performing so many sacrifices, and as a king he has to do it. But in performing all those sacrifices, the love for Godhead is being missed. So the Narada Muni is out of his causeless mercy is come here and giving audience to Prachina Bhari, and is helping him revive his Krishna consciousness. He is pointing out his mistakes. So many times we are also we are doing all the same things, like we are also like following the principle, and then we are making our life to be happy, and we are doing many activities to make adjustments to live in this world happily, which the king is also doing. He is doing his prescribed duties, thinking that he will be happy and he'll adjust the material situation so that he can remain happy. He will remain happy, there's no doubt about it. For the time he has this material body, he will remain happy, and then after, when he quits his body, then he will attain a birth in higher planets as well. So he is performing his prescribed duties, and in the performing of that prescribed duty, the element of enjoyment is always there. It is quite evident, and it is quite prominent here. He was doing so that he could enjoy his senses more. But he is not breaking any regulative principles here. So he is trying to adjust a situation where he can enjoy his senses to the maximum and without breaking any principles. So that is not the point of following the regulative principles or performing his varnashrama system to the perfection. Of course, in Kali Yuga, it is not possible to perfect in whatever ashrama we are. There will be many nuances, or there will be many misgivings where in whichever ashrama we are. So we will not be able to perfectly act in a way that we can achieve perfection in one of the ashramas which we are. So unless and until what Narada Muni is pointing out to the king is, unless and until he understands what is the purpose of performing all these Vedic rituals. If one is not understanding the very purpose of performing all these activities, it is simply a waste of time. So that is what he is doing it. So it is very intriguing that even though Prachina Bari is coming in a lineage of the family of Dhruva Maharaj, such great kings have come in this lineage, right? Starting from Dhruva Maharaj to Prithu Maharaj, and to his son, and to King Anga and all those kings who have perfected their lives, and they tried to go back home, back to Godhead. As we have read in the previous chapters, Prithu Maharaj was a great king, and when he was ruling the kingdom in so nicely and making all the people Krishna consciousness, and at the end of life he quit everything. He did not drag on for a while thinking that my sons will come and then they'll take on this kingdom, and then he was not worried that what would happen to kingdom or his children and things like that. He had to do all the duties which had to do as a king. He perfectly divided the earth into so many islands, and then he appointed his brothers as their kings, and they did so many things. He acted as a perfect king, and after all that he just left his position as a great king of the world, and then he went back home, back to Godhead. So it is not that Prachina Bari didn't know about this. He's a king coming in the same lineage. But still, it is surprising that he has forgotten what Prithu Maharaj and what Dhruva Maharaj achieved. So again, Narada Muni is coming here, and then he's pointing out the faults which he is doing. He's perfectly doing all the yagnas here, and then he is performing all the yagnas, and then so many animals are being slaughtered, and so many animals are killed. Maybe the animals are getting delivered, but on a material point of view, or just observing, it sees that so many animals are being sacrificed without a higher purpose. Maybe if you had done one or two yagnas, then okay, fine, as a king you would have done it, and then you should call it a day. But still, what is he doing? He's doing so many yagnas, one after the other. So he's not getting jaded, or he's not getting tired of performing these yagnas. So Narada Muni is coming here, and then he's pointing out that although he's performing the rituals according to the Vedic principles, and he's entitled to perform this ritual, but simply is wasting his time over here, because neither he is helping the citizens to become Krishna consciousness, nor is he elevating to Krishna consciousness and understanding the aim of life. So even though that he is is coming from a great lineage, so when Prachina Bari himself, a king in the Satya Yuga, is not able to understand the signs of self-realization, then what to speak of us? So here we can understand from this that even though we have a very good parentage, we might have very good education, but still we need a person who is completely in Krishna consciousness to revive our own Krishna consciousness. The Krishna consciousness is there in everyone's heart. In the next sloka, Krishna is saying that Sarvasya Chaham Hridhi Sannivishto Ishvara Sarva Bhutanam Hriddeshu Tishtati. Krishna is there in everyone's heart. we know we have somehow or other we read Bhagavad Gita accidentally before coming to Krishna consciousness. We might have read Bhagavad Gita, we might have heard so many things, but unless and until one pure devotee of we are in touch with a pure devotee of the Lord, or accidentally if we are in association with a pure devotee of Lord, then only the Krishna consciousness get revived. So again here Prachina Bari, although he was so much qualified, unless and until he gets the association of Narada Muni, he doesn't become a completely surrendered soul unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, and that too, it is not that in an instant he becomes a devotee of the Lord. Narada Muni had to explain him over the entire allegorical story of a king and a queen. And then he at the end of the story, he says that king which I quoted is none other than you. You are in that position of that king, and then you are doing the same thing as that in that story. So even after hearing that story, but still Prachina Bari was not ready to give up his kingdom or to take up Krishna consciousness seriously. Again, in this, and then he didn't understand. So it's very, very intriguing that Prachina Bari didn't understand what Narada Muni was quoting. So again, Narada Muni had to explain that the king, the example which he had given was none other than the Prachina Bari himself. The Prachina Bari was doing all that which was stated in that allegorical example. So then again, the question Prachina Bari is asking Narada Muni, and then Narada Muni is explaining again. So this situation was there in Satya Yuga, and what to understand here for us people in Kali Yuga. We are hearing so many matters on this thing, but still we are forgetting our aim of life, then to take up Krishna consciousness seriously. And Narada Muni is reminding. So here also we need how much of hearing and how much of associating with devotees, so that we can take this Krishna consciousness very seriously. So Srila Prabhupada, one devotee asked Srila Prabhupada, why you Srila Prabhupada, from the scripture, like you have given Bhagavad Gita and you have given Srimad Bhagavatam, and you have also given Chaitanya Charitamrita. In page after page, you have the highlight of surrendering unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead is being mentioned. And Srila Prabhupada said to this devotee that we tend to forget that our aim of life is to surrender to Krishna consciousness. So Srila Prabhupada had to write all the purports of Bhagavad Gita and the purports of Srimad Bhagavatam, so that he could convince that surrendering unto the Supreme Personality should be our aim of life. To change our consciousness, that has to be our aim of life. So he has written in practically in every chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, surrendering unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, because of our nature of forgetfulness of Krishna. Is reminding here page after page that what should be our aim of life. So, and then he is again Narada Muni is telling that our education should be such that we can become elevated to Krishna consciousness. So here he is saying here that what all the education, the vidya which savidya tan matir yaya. So here matir means consciousness. So here Prabhupada is translating as matir as consciousness. So our education, our endeavor is to see that our consciousness become Krishna consciousness. So whatever activities we are doing, it should be for the pleasure of the Lord, and it should be directed to pleasing the Lord. That should be the aim of what all activities we are doing, or what all education we are getting. So only a pure devotee like Narada Muni and Srila Prabhupada can point out the deficiencies in our day-to-day life and in our education system, and overall the overall way of the way we are living here. Only they can correct the things which we are doing wrongly. So here Prachina Bari was a great yogi, right? He knew very great yogic arts, and he was also perfectly performing the yagnas. So he was and the yogi means what the yogi is doing. The yogi is although he might be meditating, he might be performing austerities for many years, meditating for many years, and for many years, but still he is still in the material plane. He is playing with all the material elements: bhumi, rapanalo, vayo, earth, air, water, fire, and ether. So the consciousness is within this material sphere, or of the subtle elements like the mind, body, the mind, intelligence, and ego. So the yogi, what all he might be doing, the yogic principles, he is playing with the 8 material elements and plus the mind. So he's doing the activities are based only on this bodily platform of life. Even the mind is also a body. So he might be doing so many asanas, or meditating for many years, standing on one leg, or doing so many things for many years. But still, the aim is within this this sphere of 8 elements, and with the mind included. So that is what the yogi is doing. And then again, Prabhupada is also is mentioning here, if Krishna consciousness is missing, one is simply engaged in false activities and false educational pursuits. So he's mentioning our present day situation. Normally, the scientists and great educationalists are recognized in the society. They are given great importance in the material sphere. You know, the society recognizes as them as great people. But what they are missing? They are missing Krishna consciousness. They are missing what is the aim of life. They are pursuing pursuing things which are on the bodily platform of life. So a modern day scientist and a yogi is not much different. What the yogi is doing, the yogi is playing around with earth, air, water, fire, ether, controlling the nature, controlling the mind, intelligence. All that is doing is practicing that, how to control his mind, how to control the nature, and how to get some yogic siddhis where he can control other people also. And then he's constantly meditating upon it, and then how it can be done. So even the modern people who are great educationalists, great scientists, great political leaders, they are also simply engaged in this kind of false activities. What the scientists are doing also the same. They are not our Guru Maharaj was pointing in one lecture, what the scientists are doing is the same thing as what the yogi is doing. The scientists are also playing with the material things, you know, none of which are bought by the material scientists, but they are doing research after research after research, and then in the pursuit, what they are concluding is that they are not concluding that there's no God, and they are not coming to the point of understanding, yes, behind all this material nature and behind all this material pursuit, the supreme personality of Godhead is there. They are missing. That is the point they are missing. And then for these people, such recognition is given in this material world, and they are recognized in that, and they are glorified in this material world. And even like even in our education system and in India, what we are thinking, or when we were doing graduation and things like that, going to America or going to Europe for higher education was the aim of life, and that was considered as the pinnacle of one's material success. If one person going abroad and then engaging, enrolling in their higher pursuit, that was the pinnacle of education. So when what's happening? Of course, even now people are doing it and then still going there for higher studies and doing so many things. But what is the point? The point is, and they're missing the point that even after getting so pursued, what are they doing? They are engaging in maintaining this body. So that is where the pure devotees are coming to picture, and then they point out the mistakes in the modern civilization. So when Prabhupada went to America, and America was in great turmoil, right? America was waging a war in Vietnam, and so many people, the young people especially, they were frustrated that they were American government was waging a war which was not necessary for them. So even the most advanced country in the world, people were frustrated. Because the Kshatriya people, or the people who were ruling the world, were not helping people to be happy, because they were unnecessarily waging a war. Srila Prabhupada also mentions in Srimad Bhagavatam in other places that war, pestilence cannot be avoided in this Kali Yuga. War and pestilence and earthquakes, floods, everything will be there in Kali Yuga because of the irreligious kings or irreligious leaders who are leading our world. So the point of forgetting Krishna is prominent. So naturally these things happen, and then people have become frustrated by all this. So material, one might have a very good education, one might become a scientist and so many things, but still if one is not the Krishna consciousness, or one is not understanding what is the aim of doing all this, then it becomes it's very difficult. The life becomes simply frustrating. So we can so we can see how Narada Muni is explaining to Prachina Bhari that he should take up Krishna consciousness more seriously, rather than simply following the Vedic way of life. So, and then Narad Muni is chastising it practically, so that he is forgetting, Prachina Bhari is forgotten Krishna consciousness. So in the next loka is saying here, Sri Hari, the Supreme Personality of the Super Soul and Guide of all living entities who have accepted material bodies within this world, is the Supreme Controller of all material activities and in material nature. He is also our best friend, and everyone to take shelter at his lotus feet. In doing so, if one's life will be auspicious. So he is reminding Prachina Bhari that whatever he was doing, it was not auspicious. It was not auspicious because so many animals were being killed, and then Prachina Bhari was not content by doing this yagna, because he was continuously pursuing the same thing again and again, and it was not at all auspicious. So then he is reminding here that he has to surrender to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is the Supreme Controller, and because he is the Supreme Controller, and then he is also our best friend. Now Krishna is saying in Bhagavad Gita, Bhoktaram Yagna Tapasam Sarvaloka Maheshwaram Suhridam Sarva Bhutanam Gnatva Shantim Rachati. So if one has to be peaceful, one has to surrender to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So the pure devotees of the Lord keeps coming again and again, and keep reminding our lost relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So and even the devotees as well. The devotees are when we associate with the devotees, then our own devotional service is revived, because the devotees are intelligent. It is like the story we have heard, the boatman and the scientist. The scientist says that he knows so much science and so many things, But the boatman asked him, do you know swimming? The scientists say he doesn't know. The point is, the devotees know what is that is required to cross over this material world by the blessing of the acharya, by the blessings of and the pure devotees. They know what this material world is about. So the devotees understand that no matter what all pursuits we are doing, it will lead to frustration eventually. So they are quite intelligent in the sense they are intelligent to understand the devotional service, or the self realization is the top priority in this world. So so they make all this arrangement so that so that we are completely focused on whatever pursuits in daily life, and whatever are pursuits in education as well. So in the same regard, during when Srila Prabhupada was going around the world and then meeting various scientists and having conversations with many great scholars and even with devotees. So he was always pointing out the mistakes of the modern education society and what was the missing point. And at that time, going to the moon was considered a great achievement in science. So in one pastime where devotees show Srila Prabhupada that the moon landing was being telecast live, and Srila Prabhupada sees it, and one devotee, I forget his name, and Prabhupada constantly used to say in morning walks and in other talks that a man cannot go with this body, he cannot go onto the moon with the same body. It is not possible. So when this was telecast, this devotee was carried away by science and achievements in science, that he could not take what Srila Prabhupada was saying, that it is not possible to land on the moon. Srila Prabhupada also mentions in one of the previous chapters, I don't remember the chapter, but he says that the modern day scientists will not be able to cannot land on the moon. If at all they are going on to the moon, it is not on the moon, it is some other planets like Rahu or Ketu or whatever it is. So Srila Prabhupada had told that in that time. So even till today, it is not resolved that whether man has landed on the moon or not. So still there is speculation. So only a pure devotee could see what is the inefficiency of this great material achievement or things like that. So when this was being telecast of the moon landing, the devotee could not comprehend what Srila Prabhupada was saying, and then he thought that that man has landed on moon, and Prabhupada was speaking that was something did not make much sense. So I think he left the movement. And then he left the association of Srila Prabhupada. So Srila Prabhupada was also lamenting that devotee had to leave, because we are enamored with so much of education. We are so much enamored by science and things like that. The scientists are also doing some jugglery with their pursuits, with the mind and with the elements. So nothing is beyond these elements. So what all the scientists are working is within this framework of 5 elements and 3 subtle elements. So it's not much great importance, but still they are glorified. And even the so-called godmen are all with their pursuits, or with their techniques, and with their so many yogas and things like that. They are still teaching people how to control the mind, how to be intelligent, how to do this asanas perfectly well, and then this is all about the body itself, that trying to, by doing some kriya, we are able to control the mind, or by worshipping some god, that they can be completely happy and things like that, but without giving any scriptural basis, nor going beyond the bodily concept of life. So the point is, a pure devotee can see what the ordinary society, ordinary people cannot see. Because they are in touch with the truth, and that is how they'll be able to convince and bring about changes in the heart, where the people can people really appreciate that, people to appreciate, to surrendering unto the Lord is the ultimate aim of life. Srila Prabhupada is here finally quoting an example of Ramananda Raya. Ramananda Raya says that the best part of education is advancement in Krishna consciousness. I heard one pastime of Ramananda Raya also. During Ramananda Raya's time, there was one yogi who had come to Jagannath Puri area, where Ramananda Raya was staying was somewhere near Jagannath Puri, near Jagannath Puri. So, and one day this yogi came, and then with a stick, he was sitting on the stick, and then he could go around and fly with the stick, like all these modern day magician, they can levitate in the sky and on the ground, and so many things they can do that jugglery. So this person, this yogi also was flying on the stick, and then he could stand on the stick, and then he could go around. So all the people were mesmerized by this, and then they came to Ramananda Raya, and then they told that, this person is such a yogi, is such a great person, that he's doing all this, he's going around places flying, and so such wonderful things he's doing. And Ramananda Raya said, no, it is all, it is one thing, it is not much of great value, it is only some yogic trick he is doing, it is not great value. But still the people were glorifying this person, that he's such a great personality, is doing so many things and feats like this. So then finally Ramananda Raya was doing, he was brushing his teeth in the morning, and when he was hearing about all this. So after repeatedly telling that this is not required for us, this is only yoga, but still these people were glorifying that person. He said that is not required for us. And finally what he did, he took the twig which he was brushing his teeth, he put it under his leg, and then immediately he could also fly, and then he could fly just like that yogi. And then everyone was surprised how he could see this. So then he says that if he said that if one is a devotee, all that yoga siddhis which the yogis can achieve can be achieved. But so that is not the pursuit of our bhakti devotional activities or our bhakti seva. So our endeavor should be to understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So this is not the aim of life. He was able to convince people. So, and then here it's saying in this shloka that everyone should take the shelter of his lotus feet. In doing so, one's life will be successful. So it says here in the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, the shloka says that samashrita ye pada pallava plavam mahat padam punya yasho murare bhavam buddhir vatsa padam param padam yat vipadam natesham. For those who have accepted the boat of lotus feet of the Lord, who is the shelter of the cosmic manifestation and is famous as Murari, the enemy of Mura demon, the ocean of material world is like water contained in a calf's hoof print. Their goal is Param Padam, Vaikunta, the place where there are no material miseries, not the place where is danger at every step. So one who is doing devotional service, for him it is very easy to cross over the material. It is very easy to cross over this material world. So Narada Muni is advising Prachina Bari that in spite of doing so many Vedic rituals, if he is missing the point of not surrendering to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then it is simply waste of time. It says in the again, it's Bhagavatam says, Dharma svanushtita pumsam vishwakshena kathasu yaha na utpadayed yati ratim. If there is no attraction for the Supreme Personality of Godhead, na utpadayed. Utpadayed means which does not generate. Yadi ratim. Ratim means the attraction for the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then it is Shrama eva hi kevalam. So it means that what all endeavor, what all pursuits we are doing, it is Shrama eva hi kevalam. So we are simply wasting time. So it is Narada Muni coming again explaining this in very great depth. Is taking so much pain to explaining to the king that surrendering to the Supreme Personality was the need of the hour. So from this we can clearly understand that in Satya Yuga this is happening, and how much more of association we need, how much more instructions we need in these matters, as to so that we can constantly keep our consciousness clear, consciousness getting rid of material attachment, material pursuits. To an extent, yes, material pursuits are required to maintaining one's social status, but beyond that, Prabhupada again is reminding that with all these material pursuits, we should not try to adjust, go on adjusting things so that we can stay thinking that we can stay here comfortably for an extended period of life. So we should associate with devotees, so that our own consciousness keeps on improving, and then we gradually develop a detachment towards material pursuits. So the constantly, we need that hammering onto our intelligence, our mind, that our consciousness needs to be completely focused on doing devotional activities and surrendering to the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So we need that's why we need to keep constantly associating with the devotees of the Lord, and keep reading Srila Prabhupada's books again and again and again, so that we are constantly reminded, and we are convinced, yes, that within this life we have tried to go back home, back to Godhead. And also in doing so, Srila Prabhupada has also explained in one important point. What he explains is, of course, we get the information, we have to surrender to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, we have to associate with devotees, all that is fine. And then we also understand the importance of self-realization. In spite of all that, Srila Prabhupada says the success of a devotee in devotional service lies in pleasing the spiritual master and in pleasing the previous acharyas. So we have got this information of this self-realization from our acharyas. So we are obligated, and then we have this we have this instruction, so that we try and serve the previous acharyas, and try to help the movement of Krishna consciousness to reach out to many people as possible. So when that is the mood which one has to be in Krishna consciousness. Srila Prabhupada also says that he's sharing, or he's taking the curse of Narada Muni. Narada Muni was, that Narada Muni was cursed by Daksha, that he has to keep roaming, that he has no fixed residence, that he has to go from place to place. And then Narada Muni took that curse as a blessing, so that he could go to many places, to many devotees, to deliver them. So Srila Prabhupada has also understood what is the mood of the parampara, and what it means to be a sannyasi, that he has to go to many places, to reach out to many places, not being in one place, and then reach out to many people to deliver this message of Godhead. So if we are accepting this parampara, that then we have to then we have also to share this curse of Narada Muni to reach out, and we should also to reach out to many people, go out of our comfort zone and to give Krishna consciousness to others. So that is the prerogative of a devotee, to remind people of their lost relationship with Krishna consciousness. So one thing that definitely will please Krishna, samsiddham haritoshanam. So he says that in the first chapter, again in the first canto, अथ पुंबी द्विचश्रेष्ठ वर्णाश्रम विभागशः स्वानुष्ठितस्य धर्मस्य संसिद्धिं हरितोषणम. So it is therefore concluded that the highest perfection one can achieve by discharging the duties prescribed for one's own occupation according to caste divisions and orders of life is to please the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So no matter what he is, what we are doing, we are what is the, it should be this samsiddhir haritoshanam, that one's occupation according to is to please the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So Narada Muni is reminding Prachina Bari, and in a way he is also reminding us that samsiddhir haritoshanam. So that should be our pursuit. So with these two shlokas, we can understand that that we have to revive our own Krishna consciousness, and then we have to share this Krishna consciousness with others. So by doing so, we definitely will please our previous acharya, and our own Krishna consciousness will be solidified and will be on the right path. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you for continuous flow of very nice, Prabhuji. So in today's class, you actually explained how to revive the consciousness within us, and what we should do. We should go and preach this message outside, to outside public, and this will actually please our spiritual master. In turns, we can please Guru Parampara and please Krishna Samsiddhir Haritoshanam. And this will also help us to, we have to take the association of devotees, and this will also help our cleaning our arthas as well. So thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you for the wonderful class. I think the devotees may please unmute your line and share any questions or comments or reflections.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Wonderful class.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
The flow of thoughts was wonderful, Prabhu, and very nice to listen about the pastime of Ramananda Raya, where he flies over the stick and shows them that devotional service is much more than this. Wonderful.
Yeah. Yes, Mataji. I also missed one point in the class, that most of the times we are obsessed with great education, great scientists, and great pursuit, great scholars, and things like that. Of course, they have achieved so many things, but still it is still in the material sphere, within this material world. So if those pursuits are not helping revive Krishna consciousness, it is simply a waste of time. So when I was a student, and then even now, students, going to America, working for big companies, and then achieving so many things are there. But end of the day, if the pursuit is not for Krishna, unfortunately, the pursuit is not for Krishna consciousness. Srila Prabhupada, when he went to MIT, he says, where is that education where the education for soul is there? So much we are missing, so much. Like Narada Muni, Prabhupada is going everywhere and then telling that we are like we are in the Prachina Bhari state, and then Prabhupada is giving us this knowledge.
Yes, true. That emptiness will be there, Prabhu. How much ever you study and earn and all that, end of the day,
Mataji.
that only can be filled by Krishna consciousness, Prabhu.
Yes, Mataji.
Thank you very much, Prabhu. Dandavat Pranam.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
there are a couple of comments.
Yes.
Saraswati Mataji has mentioned.
Ah,
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you for the wonderful teachings. That was the comment. And Uttara Mataji also mentioned Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you for the wonderful class. Yeah.
thank you, Mataji. Thank you, Mataji.
Any other questions from devotees? Okay, Prabhuji, I think there are no questions, Prabhu.
Yes,
We
sir.
can end today's class with the Vaishnava Pranam.
Yes, Prabhu.
Vancha kalpatarubhyasya
Kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya
sindhubhya patitanam
patitanam
pavanebhyo
pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo
Vaishnavebhyo namo
namo
namaha.
namaha. Ananta koti Vaishnava vrinda ki jai.
Jai.
Yatha Gaur
Jagadguru.
Premanand.
Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhuji. Ashoka.
Dandavat Pranam, Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam, Prabhuji. Okay, Prabhuji, we will end today's sessions. Thank you. We will meet again tomorrow. Hare Krishna.